we believe today that the Lord wants to do a lot in these last days.
Amen. Amen.
That the Lord all wants us to fulfill everything that He wants us to do. And if we're not doing that, we're not being fulfilled on it.
Amen. Sure not.
Do all we can, the best we can, and the Lord will be glorified. Praise God. Hallelujah. I want you to pray with me now. Say, Lord, I want you to use me to the fullest. I want to be your vessel in these last days. For I see the days approaching. And I see all that's happening around me. And Lord, I know you've got everything in your hands. And I know you've got me in your hands. Anoint me, Lord. Use me, Lord. Use my mouth. Use my feet. Use my hands. Use my body. Use every part of me for your glory. Let me be a witness to Jesus in this world. Amen. Give the Lord a hand clap. Sit down just a minute. Or two. Or three or four. Turn with me to Zechariah real quick if you want to read with me. 9th chapter of Zechariah. That's right towards the end of the book of the Old Testament. It's the next to the last book in the Old Testament. So he says, oh boy, we get to read out of it. Zechariah. Chapter 9. Verse 3. And Tyrus did build herself a stronghold, and heaped up silver as the dust, and fine gold as the mire of the streets. Behold, the Lord will cast her out, and will smite her power in the sea, and she shall be devoured with fire. Escalon shall see it and fear. Gaza also shall see it and be very sorrowful. And Ekron, for her expectation shall be ashamed, and the king shall perish from Gaza, and Escalon shall not be inhabited. Now read on down. I'm going to read down to verse 9. Let me stop right there a minute. The verses I read to you happened many centuries ago when Alexander the Great marched across Europe and came to this land here at Tyre. Tyrus is Tyre and Sidon. And he came to Sidon, which is north of Tyre, and destroyed the city. And he came down to Tyre. And Tyre, they say, was a city that was built with walls 150 feet high.
Amen.
And not only that, but they built a second wall on the inside of that wall about, I believe it was about 20 feet wide, with about 8 foot between the walls that they filled up with earth. And they just had a downright stronghold there. The Assyrians besieged the city at one time for 5 years and couldn't breach the walls. So they gave up and went home. Nebuchadnezzar came down there from Babylon, and he besieged that city for 13 years and couldn't breach the walls. And he went home. God said right here, he was going to destroy it.
Yes.
You know who he sent down there? Alexander the Great. He came by there, looked at that city with 150-foot walls. I can't even imagine something that high.
Amen.
But the historians say their walls measured 150 feet. And it says here in the scripture that they were very rich. They had, what did it say here? They heaped up silver as dust and fine gold as the mire of the streets.
Wow.
They had to be one of the richest cities in the history of the world. It sounds like. But they lived secure. They rested in their security. They had enough gold and silver to make it through anything. They didn't need anything. Who's that sound like? Kind of sounds like America, doesn't it? In a lot of places in the world today. Alexander came by and looked at the city. And it says that he cried out to them that you have great confidence in your city and in your walls. And you think that you're safe. And he said, I'm going to breach you and I'm going to tear you down and destroy you. You think that you're an island, he said, separated from the world. But I'm going to show that you're not an island, that you're on a continent like everybody else. That's what he said. And in 7 months, when all the other kings and armies had tried for years upon years, within 7 months, he took the city and slayed thousands and carried thousands away captive. And he went on down from Tyre, which is north of Galilee, north of Jerusalem. Tyre is on the coast. It's on the coast of the Mediterranean. It's a city by the sea. And when he conquered that land, they conquered that city, Alexander took his troops and marched down towards Jerusalem. And when he got to the outskirts of Jerusalem, where they could view the city and the temple from a distance, God had given the high priest of the city instructions what to do. He had a dream. So he woke up the next morning all excited and went out to tell everybody what God had told him to do in the dream. He said, God wants us to put on our priestly attire. He wants all the priests to dress up in white robes, and I'll put on the attire of the high priest with its mitre, its hat, and the breastplate that has the name of God and the stones of Israel on the front. And we're to march outside the city and go out to meet Alexander. And so here they come, the procession of all the priests in their shining white robes, and the high priest leading out in front with his shiny attire of the high priest and the high hat that he had on. And Alexander stood there in front of his army, beholding this scene. And he told his men, wait here. And he went by himself, alone, towards the priests. And he walks up to the priests, and he paid homage. And his servant said, Alexander, why do you pay homage to this man? He said, I'm not paying homage to the man. I paid a homage to the God of this man.
Amen.
Right.
Amen.
Yes, amen.
Thank you, Lord.
He said, for I had a dream. He said, Alexander said, I had a dream. that God of heavens told me about this place and about what I would do in his going out and conquering the world, that he would conquer these lands, he would conquer these cities. And he told me what to do. And the God that spoke to me looked like this man. So I know it isn't this man, but it's the God of this man.
Amen.
And everything that this God has told me has come to pass. And so the high priest escorted Alexander into the city of Jerusalem and brought him to the temple. This is history. This is true. Alexander went into the temple and offered sacrifice to God at the instructions of the high priest. And stayed there for a time. And he left. And they asked him, to leave them in peace and let them live their lives according to their beliefs. And not take that away. And he agreed. He conquered the land. Alexander conquered the land, but he didn't attack the city of Jerusalem nor destroy the Jews. God had given them safety through the hand of Alexander. And he left and went on, and he went down to the land of the Philistines, to Gaza, and he took that city and destroyed it.
Yes.
And actually almost completely wiped out the Philistine people. He left a handful and went back into Jerusalem, and they lived there. So everything that God had said would happen, happened just that way. But Alexander was a conqueror. Alexander was, the Bible really says that Alexander was God's servant. For God intended for Alexander to do what he did. That the Greek Empire would at that time conquer the world. But I want you to notice now what the Bible says further down in the 9th chapter of Zechariah, in verse 9. Suddenly the Lord says this, "Rejoice greatly, O daughter of Zion. Shout, O daughter of Jerusalem. Behold, thy king cometh unto thee. He is just and having salvation, lowly and riding upon an ass, and upon a colt the foal of an ass." Who is he talking about?
Jesus.
Hallelujah.
Amen.
Here's Alexander coming in with his conquering army. He's conquering the world. He is sacking every city. He's tearing down the walls. He's breaching the walls that no man could ever breach, because God gave him the power and the authority to do that. Then suddenly the Lord says, "Rejoice, O daughter of Zion, behold, your king comes riding upon a donkey."
Amen.
He's not coming in like Alexander. He's not coming in like a whirlwind. He's not coming in to tear down your walls and pull down your temples. But he's coming in meek and lowly, riding upon a donkey. Your king is coming. Okay, let's read on down. "I will cut off the chariot from Ephraim, and the horse from Jerusalem, and the battle bow shall be cut off. He shall speak peace unto the heathen, and his dominion shall be from sea to sea, and from the river even unto the ends of the earth." Who's he talking about? Talking about Jesus. "As for thee also, by the blood of your covenant, I have sent forth the prisoners out of the pit wherein is no water." Still talking about Jesus.
Amen.
"Turn ye to the stronghold, you prisoners of hope. Even today do I declare that I will render double unto thee." What is he talking about there? He's going to do good to them. He's going to be merciful to them. He's going to give them every hope in the world and double that. No man is going to overcome them or destroy them, but the Lord is their defender.
Amen.
And he has promised to give those who are in prison even greater hope.
Amen.
He said, when I have bent Judah for me, fill the bowl of Ephraim, and raised up your sons, O Zion, against thy sons, O Greece. I want you to catch that right there. I have raised up thy sons, O Zion, against thy sons, O Greece, and made thee as the sword of a mighty man. Now when Alexander conquered the world, he brought the Greek culture into all the lands wherever he went. So that the Greek culture became part of everyday life in the world at that time. The Greek language was a very beautiful language, and the Greek arts, and the Greek culture. And it began to find its way into every land and the peoples of the lands. And their cultures began to change. The Greek language began to take root and take hold in all the countries around, so that it became finally, after so many years, the language of all the land. Just like today in our world, you can go about any place in the world and find someone who speaks English. The English language has circled the globe. In those days, the Greek language was exactly the same way. It began to take root and take over the world, and the culture of the Greeks was everywhere. And Alexander the Great gets credit for that, because he brought that with him. He was not only a military conqueror, but he brought in his culture with him. He loved the Greek culture, and he saw to it that the Greek language, the Greek culture, Greek art would come into these lands, and that people would learn about all the Greek culture. And so men began to speak Greek. But the Grecians had a problem. Their philosophies of life wasn't correct. They had some of the greatest minds that's ever been in the world, Plato and Aristotle. But if you've ever read anything that Plato wrote, his utopian ideas is what the basis for communism is. How many's ever read Plato? His theory on utopia is the basis for socialism. It is the basis for all philosophy today that argues against God and against Christ and against the truth and against liberty and freedom. And it is a philosophy that brings men under bondage and under tyranny. Under the will of one man or a group of men. But I'm going to tell you something. There's only one philosophy. There's only one man. There's only one king.
Amen.
Who has the right and the justice and the power and the glory. Hallelujah. To reign over the whole world, over all men, who will do it justly and righteously and holy. And that's Jesus Christ.
Amen.
Hallelujah. It isn't Alexander the Great. It isn't Greek philosophy. It isn't the philosophy of men. It is the Word of the living God.
Amen.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
Ooh, hallelujah.
Thank you, Lord.
He said, rejoice, O daughter of Zion, your king comes.
Yes.
And your sons, O Zion, are against thy sons, O Greece.
Amen.
Yeah.
Today, you and I, in America,
Yes.
are in a battle.
Amen.
We have been in the battle in America for at least 100 years, whether we realize it or not. The philosophy that came into the world, this falsehood, that came into the world long, long before America was even discovered, has penetrated the world and found refuge in every country, and has taken root, and it has been there, it has stayed there, and it continues. But when Jesus came, you remember one time I was reading this and I began to think, hey, there was one time that when Jesus was in Jerusalem, there were some Greeks who were at Jerusalem, and they wanted to come to worship, but they wanted to talk to Jesus. How many remembers that?
Amen. Yeah.
And one of the disciples, I forget which one it was, they're the ones that, he's the one that talked with them. They said, we want to see your master. We want to see Jesus.
Amen.
So he went and told Philip. And Philip went and told the Lord. He said, there's some Greeks here, and they want to see you. They want to talk with you. For some reason, Jesus didn't go with Philip. He didn't go meet with these Greeks. But he said, the hour has come. This is what he said. When Philip said, they want to see you, Jesus answered him and said, the hour has come that the Son of Man should be glorified. And if a grain of wheat remains alone, if it doesn't fall to the ground and die and remains alone, it remains alone. But if it falls to the ground and dies, it will bring forth much fruit.
Amen.
Amen?
Yeah.
It will bring forth much fruit. Jesus was addressing Philip concerning the Greeks. Jesus didn't want to argue any point with Greeks.
Come on.
He didn't come
Yes.
to go head on with philosophers about their religion or about what they believed in.
Amen.
Why? It's a waste of time. Jesus is the truth.
Amen.
He didn't mess around with petty things like Aristotle and
That's right.
the other guy. What's his name? And Plato. He didn't mess around with guys like Plato. They're morons compared to Jesus. They're morons.
Amen.
Right.
Jesus knew what his mission was.
Yes.
He knew who he was and what he came to do, and it didn't matter what the Greek philosophy was. Jesus said, I must die that God may have more people come into the kingdom.
That's right. Come on.
Including the Greeks.
Come on.
Did you hear me? Including the Greeks and including those who think they're the wisest men in the world. The Bible says to the Greeks, the cross is foolishness.
Amen.
Come on.
To the Greeks, the preaching of the cross is foolishness. But to those who believe, it is the power of God.
That's right.
Jesus said, if I die, I will bring forth much fruit.
Amen. Come on.
Let me read that.
Yes.
Glory to God.
Amen.
That's good preaching.
We'll get over to something else here in a minute. I want to read this.
Thank you, Lord.
Good preaching.
He that loves his life shall lose it.
Yes.
And he that hates his life in this world will keep it unto life eternal.
Yes. Amen.
Who's he speaking to? He's speaking to the Greeks, but he didn't go meet the Greek men.
That's right.
Yes.
But his answer is this. If you love your life, you will lose it.
Yes.
Come on.
The philosophy of man is always the preservation of himself.
That's right.
Amen. It is.
The philosophy of man is always give your will or give all that you have to someone else who can take care of you. Give your will, give your liberty, give your life to some tyrant who guarantees your safety, who guarantees your life.
Right.
Don't do what the God of heaven ordained man to do. Do what men tell you to do.
Come on.
Follow man.
Yes.
Follow this wise man. He can show you and teach you all about life, and you don't have to worry about a thing if you'll just do what this man tells you to do. Submit yourselves to this man, or to this philosophy. So therefore man is always seeking his own life, to perpetuate his own life, his own philosophy, his own ideas, to keep it going, to keep it alive. And Jesus' answer is, if a man seeks his own life and loves his own life, he will lose it.
Come on.
There's not anybody smart enough in this world to keep you alive.
That's right.
Forever.
Amen.
There's not anybody, there's not any religion, there's not any philosophy in the world that is able to make life eternal for you.
That's right. Come on.
Amen.
There's no philosophy in this world that can answer life's problems.
No.
There's no form of government that men can set up to guarantee your life, your liberty,
That's right.
and your happiness.
Amen.
Only God can do that.
Amen.
Our Constitution today is built on that very truth, that very truth right there. The foundation of our government in this country is that God gives to every man the right to life. And God gives every man life. And God is king over men. I remember what Oliver Thomas Cromwell of England, and after the Civil War over there, when he died, they put on his headstone, "The Lord, not man, is king."
Amen.
The Lord, not man, is king.
That's right. Come on.
Hallelujah!
Amen.
Jesus is saying, if you love your life, you're going to lose it. But if you hate your life, you will preserve it unto life eternal.
Amen.
In other words, men must realize who their allegiance is truly to. It is to God.
Amen.
It isn't to man. It isn't to philosophies. It isn't to wise men. It isn't to tyrants. It isn't to anybody else. It is to God.
Amen.
It is to God. Hallelujah. And he said, if any man serve me, let him follow me. And where I am, there will my servant be also. If any man serve me, him will my Father honor. Now is my soul troubled. What shall I say? Father, save me from this hour. But for this cause I came to this hour. Father, glorify your name.
Yes.
And there came a voice from heaven. And he said, I have both glorified it and will glorify it again. And the people that stood by said, an angel spoke.
Yes.
And Jesus said, this voice didn't come because of me, but it came for your sake. Now is the judgment of this world. Now shall the prince of this world be cast out. Talking about Satan.
Yes. Amen.
And if I be lifted up from the earth, I will draw all men unto me.
Amen.
He's talking to the Greeks. He's talking to the Jews. He's talking to all men of all nations everywhere. If I be lifted up, I will draw all men to me.
Amen.
Amen.
If any man serve me,
Come on.
let him follow me. Let him follow me.
Amen.
Hallelujah. And how was he lifted up? He was lifted up on the cross.
That's right.
That's what he was talking about. If I am lifted up
Yeah.
from the earth. He was lifted up on the cross. If I die on the cross, I will bring forth much fruit. If I be lifted up, I will draw all men. In other words, praise God. Let me tell you, men are like sheep today. They've always been like sheep. Easily led astray.
Amen.
They follow one thing or another.
Come on.
Somebody rises up with some good idea. They think it's a good idea. They follow this man.
That's right.
Some fad or fashion in the world comes around. Everybody begins to follow it. This is a good idea. Let us create a nation. Let us build a government. Let us build our lives on this. But when Jesus came, praise God, He said, if I be lifted up, and He was, if I die, and He did, I will draw all men unto me. What's He saying? He said, every man from every nation on the earth, regardless of race, creed, and color, regardless of their philosophies of life, regardless of what other men have told them, regardless of what they've read, regardless of what they know, regardless of who they are, where they are, what they are. I will find men in every race, creed, and color. I'll find somebody in every country upon the face of the earth who will follow me, who will believe in me. I'll have a people from every part of the earth, from every corner of the earth. Jesus Christ will draw them to Himself.
Amen.
I'm not drawn to some philosophy or somebody's idea about what we should do. We ought to be drawn to Christ.
Amen.
Amen.
Man can't solve the problem. Jesus can solve the problem.
Amen.
Obama sure ain't going to solve the nation's problem. Congress is not going to solve the problem.
No.
Mitt Romney's not going to solve the problem. Gingrich is not going to solve the problem. Ron Paul won't solve the problem. Jesus is the answer. Hallelujah. Mama says we got a blueprint for America. We've already got a blueprint. It's the Word of the living God.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
We don't need another blueprint, Mr. President.
That's right.
We don't need your blueprint.
Amen.
Trash it. Throw it out the door.
Amen.
Jesus Christ is the blueprint.
Amen.
Yes.
He's not just a blueprint. He's the real thing.
That's right.
He's the architect.
Amen.
Yes.
Man, he's just not a blueprint. He's the architect. He's the one that designed it. He's the one that built it. He's the one that made it.
That's right. Amen.
He said, if I be lifted up, I'll draw all men. What is He talking about? My kingdom is going to fill the earth. Just as surely as the waters cover the sea, the knowledge of the Lord is going to fill the earth.
Amen. Come on.
Thank you.
You lying devil are coming around telling us all this stuff about what you can do and shouldn't do and shouldn't do. Jesus Christ has already told us who He is and what He's done. And what He's going to accomplish. It doesn't matter what these mouths say. It doesn't matter what proud men say. Jesus Christ is Lord of lords and King of kings.
Amen. Yes, He is.
And God rules over all.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
He said, thy sons, O Zion,
Yes.
is against thy sons, O Greece. Why did He say that? He's pointing out the fact of the Greece, of the philosophies of men against the living Word of God. We are not sons of philosophers. We once were. And it's sadly today, many Christians are sons of tradition. They are sons of traditions of men. Jesus told the Pharisees one time, He says, you will not enter the kingdom of God yourself.
Come on.
And those that are trying to come in, you block their way so that they can't come.
Come on.
And you go across the earth to and fro to proselyte people, to make them like you, and they become twofold more the child of hell than yourselves.
Yes.
You go out through the land to convert people to your religion and to your ways. And when you get through with them, they're worse than you are.
Come on.
Right. So men are products. Let me tell you something. This is important. We got to realize what's going on in the world today. You know, here lately I began to realize more and more as I've listened to a lot and read a lot of stuff, I'm beginning to see, you know what God's been telling me. Sometimes I look at the news and I read all this stuff and it just frustrates me, it infuriates me. I get so mad and so angry, I just want to choke somebody. I just got to take up a gun and to do something. You know? March on Washington, boy! Shut these mouths. Put them in jail.
Yeah.
Just go in there and just empty them out, man. Put them all in jail. Arrest all the judges, arrest all the politicians, arrest Obama, arrest everybody. Say you're under arrest for treason against this nation.
Amen.
Amen. Come on.
I'm with you, brother.
They say, man, you're the rebel. No, the people are not the rebel. It's Washington that's the rebel because they're rebelling against the Constitution of the United States.
Right. Come on.
Amen.
They think to set up their ideas and set up their governments and promote their ideas and mandate it and force it on the people.
It's true.
Right.
Whether you like it or not.
Yes.
That's tyranny.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Our Constitution is based on the idea that no man has the right to take away from any individual his own property
That's right.
or his own rights. No man can do that. That's what our Constitution is based on. I believe it's given to us by God. I believe God put that idea in a man's heart because He said, after all, it's God who gave us these things. No man has the right to take it away. And so as I read and study all this and look at all what's happening, my flesh gets so angry. You know, that I want to rally around the flag, rally up the troops and march on Washington. You know,
Yeah.
you ought to hear Matt talk about it. My God, that guy. Woo. He wants to pack a gun and go down there tomorrow, you know. But you know what? I mean, there may be times when something like that may happen in America.
That's true.
Amen.
Thomas Jefferson said it. Thomas Jefferson said it may be that a republic like ours, from time to time, has to be washed with the blood of the rebels and the civil and the population. Well, I don't want to think about that. I don't want to think about war and blood and killing and all that. That's in God's hands. And so as I think about all this stuff, I get angry, and the Lord for about the last week has been hovering over me. Thank God. His Spirit has been sort of sweetly hovering over my spirit and calming me down. He's been calming me down. Because as I begin to watch the things happening right before our eyes in America today, I become so disheartened that they can't see the truth in front of their eyes.
That's right.
They can't see the truth. When somebody speaks the truth, it's as if they just don't want to hear it and they just want to go on with status quo, go on like things are and don't rock the boat and let everything. Oh, somebody can speak out and say this and that and other. But if somebody really gets up and says the truth, they don't want to hear it. They just push them aside and mock and laugh and make fun. Say, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to do this. So I'm disheartened. And you know what the Lord's been telling me, Brother Bill? He said, I want you to learn. And I've been saying it all my life. Bill, I've been saying it all of my life. The will of God, the will of God, the will of God. We need to follow the will of God. You know, we need to follow the will of God. The will of God needs to be done. But we say that with our mouth, but we just kind of run over it. We don't really understand what we're saying. We don't really grasp the true meaning of the will of God. But Brother Tim, I can honestly say I believe God is, for the first time in my life, and I will admit it, is really making me to understand what it is to submit to the will of God.
That's right. That's wonderful.
And what the will of God is. We always want to think the will of God, what God wants to do, the effects of His will. I'm not talking about the effect of His will. This is what God's been telling me. It's not just the effect of it, what happens from it, but His will. What does that mean? His will. His will.
Right.
You know, God has a will.
Amen.
Somebody said, well, I know God wants us to do that. I'm not talking about what God wants you to do. I'm talking about His will.
Yeah.
What is His will? Number one, the will is His own desire. His own personal determination. or what He Himself desires. His will. This is what my desire is. This is my will.
Amen.
He said, what I want you to learn is to give up all of your arguments and your reasoning. All of your questioning. Because, Lord, if you do this, this is going to happen. If you let that happen, well, this is not good for this. This is not good for me, good for my family. It's not good for this country. If this goes and that happens, this happens. And, you know, I'm trying to argue with God. I'm trying to reason it out in my mind. What's best for me? What's best for the country? What's best for everything? And every one of us is that way. We're all of us is that same way.
That's right.
Well, this wouldn't be good, Lord. This is not the best. This ain't the way we need to go here. This ain't how we know. We shouldn't do this. But who but the Lord knows better and what is best in every situation?
That's right.
Do we trust Him?
That's right.
Do we believe in Him? The Lord says, I want you to learn to let go of your anxieties,
Yeah.
of your frustrations, of your anger, your questioning, your reasoning it out. You're trying to figure it out in your own mind, your own little finite mind.
Amen.
When I am God, the infinite God, and I know the future, and I know what's going to happen before it happens, and I know what's best for you. This is my will.
Yes.
And I want you to surrender to my will. Give up to me. Just like He says, this is the little example He put in my mind. When you're swimming and you're floating, you learn how to float in the water. How do you float in the water? You just give up and just lay there and just start floating. If you try to keep yourself up, you're going to sink. If you try to do something to make yourself float, it don't work. But if you just give up, just relax, just lay there, and pretty soon you're just floating around. Amen? Lord said, that's the way I want you to be with me.
Amen.
Give up. Quit fighting.
Amen.
Quit struggling.
Amen.
And give up, surrender. To my will. I said, all right, Lord. So that calms my spirit. His will. Because I am not, listen, I am not a son of anything. But I'm His son. I'm not a product of anything of this world, good or bad. I am a product of His.
That's right.
I'm not a son of Greece, of philosophy, of reasoning, of wisdom. Smart man. He's a smart man. He knows a lot. We're not sons of that. We're not sons of intellect.
No.
We are sons of God.
That's right.
We are sons of Zion.
Amen.
And the sons of Zion, God raises them up to speak and to stand
Yes. Lord.
against the sons of philosophy,
Yes. Hallelujah.
the sons of this world.
Amen.
Hallelujah. He said, you will be my sword.
Yes.
In one place, might read it to you in a minute. He says, you are my battle axe.
Yes.
Let me read it. How many wants to hear about that? How many wants to be Christian?
Amen.
Praise God. Jeremiah says this. Every man is brutish by his knowledge. He's a fool by his knowledge. Portion of Jacob is not like him. He is the former of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance. The Lord of hosts is his name. Thou art my battle axe and weapons of war. For with thee will I break in pieces the nations, and with thee will I destroy the kingdoms, and I will break in pieces the horse, the rider. Praise God. And with thee I will break in pieces the chariot and his rider. I will break in pieces man and woman. I will break in pieces the old and the young. I will break in pieces the young man and the maid. I will break in pieces the shepherd and his flock. I will break in pieces the husbandman and the yoke of the oxen. And with thee I will break in pieces captains and rulers. What's the Lord saying? Jesus said, he that is faithful,
Amen.
and he that keeps his garment white, and he that trusts in me, and he that holds to what he has, shall walk with me in white raiment, and he shall rule the nations. Hallelujah. He shall rule the nations. Let me tell you something. The devil that's been prominent throughout the world since the very beginning thinks that he gets an upper hand of everything, and that he's going to tear everything down, and everything is going to be lost and destroyed. But Jesus came to let us know, no, that's not the case. I didn't come just to argue with the devil. I didn't come to argue any point with anybody. I am God, and what is God, and what I've intended to do, what I will do, I will do. And nothing's going to stop what God will do.
Amen. Come on.
And when Jesus came, He said, I am the way, the truth, and the life, and no man is going to come to God but by me. I am the door, and through me you shall come in and out and find pasture.
Amen.
Eternal life.
Amen.
He didn't come to argue the point. He didn't come to sit at the table with what's his name, the Greek philosopher. He didn't come down to argue with anybody. He said, I am that I am.
That's it.
And I will lay down my life. And sons will be born.
Yes.
And they're going to be filled not with the words of men. They're not going to be filled with the philosophies of this world, but they're going to have the Spirit of the living God living and residing in them. And when they speak, they're going to hear. And when they speak, things is going to happen. And when they speak, souls are going to be saved. And when they speak, the lame's going to walk. And when they speak, the blind's going to see. And when they speak, the world's going to know that God is God, and the devil's going to tuck his tail and run the other way, because God's people are on the march, and nothing's going to stop what God will do. Satan does in this earth. We're not here to confront or to go to battle with it. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities.
Amen.
And the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Brother, they are in high places.
Right.
They are in high places.
They are in high places.
Amen.
But our God is in the heavens. Hallelujah.
Amen.
Our God sits upon the throne of glory, and all things are subject to Him.
That's right.
And I'm a son of His.
Amen.
Hallelujah! I'm not a son of revolution, I'm a son of restoration.
Amen. Son of the living God.
I preached a sermon here a while back. Remember, we're an army, soldier in the army of the Lord. I'm not a soldier in the army of independence. I'm a soldier in the army of those who depend upon the Lord God.
Amen. Yes.
He would see us through.
That's right.
He would see us through. Trust in His will. What is your will for America? What is your will for my life? I don't know everything, but you know everything. What good can come out of what we see happening today, I do not know.
Amen.
But I know His promise that all things work together for good to them that love God,
Amen.
to them that are called according to His purpose.
Yes, preach it, brother. Truth.
All things work
Amen.
together. Let the devil do what he will. God is working and he don't even know it.
That's right.
Satan thinks he's conniving and deceiving and blinding and doing all that he can do.
That's right.
Little does he know that God is in behind, working, And He's working even things out through what He does. Even what Satan thinks he's accomplished, God says, no, you may think you've accomplished this, but through what you've done, I've accomplished something even greater, greater than what you could ever imagine.
Hallelujah.
So whenever something comes bad your way and you think nothing's going right and everything's against you, lift your head up and praise God, because everything that comes against you, God is going to make it turn around for your good, and you're going to have victory over all. Hallelujah! America's not going to go down. It's going to rise up in the name of Jesus.
Glory. Amen.
Amen and amen.
We may see more trouble to come, but the people of this nation are going to rise up in the name of Jesus.
That's right. Come on.
Because we are the children of the living God.
That's right.
And we're the sons of God.
That's right. Amen.
Truth.
Behold, what love the Father has bestowed upon us. We should be called His sons.
That's right.
What manner of love.
Amen.
What manner of love that He has, that He would call us His sons. I'm His sword. I'm the sword in His hand. So to speak, according to that scripture. We know the sword is the Word of God, but that's it. You know, that's it. It's the Word in us. That's the sword. It's the Word in us. We're always like a bunch of little swords, but it's the Word of God in us. He calls us a sword. He calls us His battle axe. He calls us His weapons of war. And we're warring. And you know what? They're not going to be able to gainsay nor resist what we say. They won't have a thing to say against it. And it's going to be, it's the simple truth. He's talking about this morning people who love, who would not be saved because they didn't love the truth. Jesus said, I'm the truth. Hallelujah. So the world hates the truth. They hate Jesus. They hate Jesus. But there ain't nothing they can do about it. They hate Jesus, but they can't do nothing with Him. What can we do with it? You can't do nothing with Him.
That's right.
He is everlasting. He will always be the Son of God. He is the Savior. He is the King of Kings and Lord. He is God. He, hallelujah. And they can't displace Him. They can't put Him aside. They can't ignore Him. They can't put Him away. They can't hide Him. They can't put it down. They can't destroy Him. He is forevermore Lord of all. Praise God. And you and I are His sons and daughters. You and I are His, praise God, His people.
Amen.
And we're full of His Word.
Come on.
And Satan is defeated.
That's right.
So with that thought in mind, keep that in your hearts day and night for every situation in life.
That's right.
You're not somebody who Satan can just run roughshod over. You're a child of God.
That's right.
You're a weapon. You're a strong weapon.
That's
The
right.
devil better stay away, not mess with
Right.
us.
Sorry.
Hallelujah. Start looking at yourself that way instead of looking at yourself as somebody that Satan just come over and just run over and knock down and, and do whatever he wants to. He can't do that. You're a child of it. He couldn't do that to Jesus.
No.
They killed Him, but He gave Himself to die. They didn't take it from Him. He gave Himself up. They arrested Him, but they let Him arrest Him.
Amen.
They nailed Him to the cross, but they let Him nail Him to the cross.
Yes, amen.
They didn't take His life away.
Thank you.
No.
He gave it up.
That's right.
They couldn't even find witnesses against Him when they was trying Him there before the high priest. They brought in witness after witness after witness after witness. Couldn't find anybody to bring the charges to condemn Him. Not one man, not one person can say anything to condemn Jesus.
Right. Amen.
Until He opened His own mouth and said, I am Son of the living God. That's what condemned Him. And He knew it. The words of His own mouth gave Him power to crucify Him. You and I this morning, hallelujah, we are in warfare.
Amen.
So don't think of yourselves as part of this world anymore. Don't think of yourselves as always saying, well, I just can't help it. Things just happen. I just know what I'm going to do. Just run up. Think of yourself as an overcomer in Christ.
Amen.
Don't think of yourself as a victim of circumstances.
That's right. Come on.
But through Christ, we have victory over all circumstances.
Amen.
Right. No matter what happens,
That's right.
we are victorious in Christ.
Amen.
Stand to your feet. Praise God.
The philosophy of the world today is to destroy, to enslave men. That's what Jesus and Satan came to do. Kill, steal, and destroy. To steal, to kill, to enslave.
Amen.
Jesus came and set us free.
Amen.
He came and set us free. We are children of liberty through Christ. We are children of victory in Him. So don't be disgruntled. Don't be frustrated. Don't be upset by what's happening in the world. Just know God is in control.
That's right.
And then we say, Father, whatever it is that you allow to come, it is for your own divine plan and your will. And that you will work all things out to your will. For the good. I may not see any good in it, but He knows the good. So I trust Him.
That's it.
I trust Him. Hallelujah. Should we pray for the best things, the right things? Yes, we should.
Yes.
God knows that. He hears our prayers.
Amen.
He knows that we thirst for righteousness.
That's right.
Hallelujah! I believe the whole world thirsts for righteousness. Everybody wants what's right.
Amen.
Except for those who are evil, those who are tyrant, those who don't believe in what's right. Like the devil himself.
That's right.
But those who thirst for what's right. What did Jesus say? They shall be filled. They shall be filled. They shall be filled. Glory to God. So don't be dismayed. Don't be discouraged. You shall be filled.
All right. Yes.
Hallelujah.
Amen.
We have Him. We have Him. He's our righteousness. He's our righteousness. And everything He does is righteous. Everything He does is right. Everything He does is good. So we look to Him.
That's right.
So if we look to Him through it all, we will be filled with His righteousness.
That's right.
Instead of filled with the aggravation of the world, we're filled with His righteousness. Instead of filled with what men say, we're filled with the Word of God. Like He's preached this morning. We're filled with the Word of God. Instead of being filled with the visions of men and what their grand visions of utopianism is, we are filled with the grand visions of glory in Christ. Hallelujah!
Amen.
Amen.
Hallelujah. Father, I thank You this morning. I thank You this morning for the Word of the living God. Lord, just help us to remember. Help us to trust. Help us to learn how to trust and to surrender to Your will. For it is good and perfect in all its ways. Oh, Father, thank You for filling us, overflowing with the righteousness of God in Christ. In the name of Jesus, Lord, I pray that You support our faith. Lord, I pray that You strengthen our faith now
Yes.
for every need that we have along life's way. Every day we say we have needs. Every day something comes along to disturb us, to tear us down, to hinder us, to war against us. Father, in the name of Jesus, strengthen us, Lord. Because You shall supply all of our need according to riches and glory by Christ Jesus.
Amen.
You said, I am the Lord God that healeth thee. I am the Lord God that forgiveth all thy iniquities and healeth all thy diseases.
That's right.
Hallelujah. And Lord, You promise, Lord, to increase the work of our hands. And nothing's going to take that away. In the name of Jesus. It is for Your glory that we live and that we move, that we have our being in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Hallelujah. Amen. Turn around and tell somebody from now on,
Now on.
you're going to see increase in my life. Amen. Shake hands.